Welcome to the first episode of Should We Have Watched That?
I'm Soraya.
And I'm Amanda.
We just saw Barbaroi. This is a circus troupe by After Dark Theatre. They're from Melbourne, your old stomping ground, Amanda.
Yeah, I did not know that. How exciting. Travelling.
How did you feel walking into so it was at the Pleasure Garden, the big top. How did you feel walking in?
I was kind of really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, oh my God, like the music was going off. The lights were already looking great. Like the stage was very, I think to me, like circus meets rock star performance.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like really looking forward to it just from that introduction.
The stage was smaller than I thought it would be.
You're right.
Just because of the like circus nature. I don't know. I just feel like, especially being in the big top, I just expected there to be less seats, more stage for them to play with. But they played a lot.
Yeah.
And there was like 90% capacity, I reckon, at least.
For a first night.
First show.
I thought it was great atmosphere.
Yeah, really, really was great music.
Oh yeah.
How did you? The only thing that I didn't love about the big top was like I'm taller than you, but
What?
It's just if you didn't know, I am taller than Amanda. I had a little bit of trouble with. So we were in the not the stalls. What's it called when it's
I'd say stalls. The
elevated seating. My legs kept going, like, touching the people in front of me.
Yeah, I didn't have that issue unless I crossed my legs.
Oh, I see. Well, I did.
Yeah.
But, okay, show-wise,
Overall thoughts?
I really liked it.
Me too.
Thought it was beautifully done.
Yeah.
The intro, like, we didn't read the
blurb.
The blurb. Not that I don't think we needed to, because we've really kind of discussed this part of it because we got out of the show and we were just like, oh my God, did you think this? It had Arcane vibes.
Oh, 100%.
If you haven't seen the Netflix show Arcane, you have no idea what we're talking about. If you have and you enjoy Arcane, then you'll enjoy the show. It was underworld kind of theme.
Cyberpunk.
Definitely cyberpunk.
Dystopian.
Yes, 100% dystopian.
So yeah, overall thoughts.
Overall thoughts were really good.
Yeah.
I think I would watch it again just for the aerial work. So we had, how many people? There were 5 performers?
Yeah, I think so. 1, 2,
6.
3.
Oh gosh.
I think it was 5 or 6.
Yeah. They each had their individual skills. Like they
had their
showcase.
specialized moments for themselves.
Because we had a juggler, we had a
aerialist,
2 aerialists.
Yeah.
One that with a single rope, and then one with 2 ropes, almost like a gymnast would have with rings. Which that was my standout moment. There was this man with his rings essentially, but they weren't rings. Just 2 ropes going all the way down. He twirled himself up in the ropes going round and around in his biceps, and then he dropped very smoothly by doing pike twirls. It was
impressive.
It was so impressive. And you were saying that you were obsessed with the shadows of the aerialists.
Oh my God. I wish there was more. I almost wish there was more work or like more performances that were up higher, because I was getting so hypnotized by the shadow work. Like the lighting and the music was such a standout to me as well. That when the first aerialist was up on her rope, I mentioned that's what it's called, the rope.
Yeah. It looked like one.
We don't speak circus, so this is quite exciting for us. There was like 2 shadows forming like on a 45-degree angle to her, and it was kaleidoscopic, and it was so beautiful that I was kind of in a trance, to be honest. Yeah, I was so impressed.
One of the things that was really cool about the show is that they are completely okay with photography, so like taking videos and
that's
taking
a first,
pictures.
hey?
Yeah. So Amanda could actually show me what she meant, because I didn't notice the shadows. I was just obsessed with watching the people. I didn't see the shadows behind them. So Amanda was taking some videos of it and could show me afterwards just what she meant. Which, yeah, really nice to be able to actually show your friends what you saw.
Clever marketing as well.
Really clever marketing.
Yeah. So character development.
I, after reading the blurb, I didn't get exactly what they were going for. I don't think we needed to.
Yeah.
Because I do think that, like, they talk about in the blurb about it being an initiation for, like, a new recruit kind of thing. I got more of, like, she's wandered into the wrong side of town and...
being tortured.
Yeah. That there is a moment of, like, being hooked up to something.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where the torture kind of vibe came in. But then she kind of got stronger from it.
Yeah.
It didn't really, the story I don't think really mattered, only because it was so watchable in its own right.
Yeah.
Like there was a little bit of narrative that it wasn't necessary really. Like,
yeah, it was almost like for me, I was waiting for the next special skill to come up, that like the story was more just kind of an intermission to me. So
probably a needed break from all of the physical work that they're doing.
That's true.
Like it's an intense show for 60 minutes.
Oh,
like
100%.
How much movement they're doing and the strength of these people.
Oh yeah.
Gosh,
it's very impressive.
Yeah.
Goals, absolute goals. I did notice though that I thought that some of the performers, I don't know if it's just me, I noticed like some wandering eyes and stuff like that, so I didn't know if they were just a bit nervous for first night. And there were a few like mishaps with like
drops.
Yeah, and
not dropping people, like dropping the implements.
Yeah, and also like contact between performers.
Oh yes.
So that took me out of it a little bit, but then once they started going, I think they got into it a bit more.
Oh, so like you think that there was just some nervous
I don't
energy
know.
starting?
Like I imagine that could be the case. Like I totally get that.
Yeah.
Like I totally get that as performers.
Yeah.
But I was like at the beginning, I was a little bit like, oh no, like because this is such a collaborative, heavy show.
Oh yeah.
I was a bit like, oh, like what if I don't know. I was getting a bit anxious in my seat, but then as it went on, they got into it a bit more, and as they did their specialized skills, you could tell that they were enjoying it.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun.
Enjoying showing, playing.
Yeah. Like the hula hoop girl, I thought she was just
she was so cool.
Yeah, she was just loving it. She was absolutely loving it.
I didn't particularly love the in between stuff where it wasn't their specialized skills. That like where there was just a lot of like throwing each other, which like the throws weren't very big, and I think maybe that's why I wasn't as impressed.
Yeah.
That I was expecting a little bit more from them. There were definitely some cool things for the group movements. Like there was some stacking.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that the when we were having a chat directly after the show that there was a ladder moment.
Oh my god, yep. I loved that. That was such like, it was such a like tableau moment for me that it's just kind of ingrained in my head now. Like I've just like snapped that moment in my head as such a beautiful moment where essentially the first aerialist, she comes down. Yeah, with the single rope. She comes down and the group or the three other guys essentially create a ladder around the rope with their hands.
Sorry,
staircase, like a spiral staircase around the rope with their hands. And I thought that was so beautiful.
It's almost ethereal, that moment. It was like she was coming down from the heavens. It was very...
Oh, it was stunning. Like I've just captured that moment forever now, I feel like. As soon as I saw that, I think I like my mouth kind of gaped open and I was like, that is beautiful. And there were a lot of those moments.
Yeah.
A lot of moments where we were both in awe and visibly gasping.
As was the rest of the crowd. A lot of the aerialists, they were doing so much.
Yeah.
But they did a lot of drops. And at the end there was a big pole that they all participated on, like, they all jumped on this massive pole, I think pole dancing pole, but didn't spin. It was a little bit padded, I think, or at least, like, had some grip on it. And there were so many drops there where there was audible gasps around the high top.
And I was bopping.
Big top. You were bopping.
I was bopping the whole way through. The music, guys, was next level.
And the synchronicity with the music, the performers, and the lighting. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, having been in the industry, we know how hard lighting and sound cues can be to hit. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was very well choreographed.
Yeah.
I would say. And there were moments where it wasn't completely perfect because of the nature of, you know, juggling, the nature of dealing with other instruments and stuff like that. But they managed to pick it up if they dropped something and just continue with it and still hit cues.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do.
Yeah.
To keep going.
A lot of pressure when it's beat dependent.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, dialogue. We didn't have...
There wasn't really much dialogue. There was one man who was the only person that spoke throughout the whole thing. He says one word, and I think that's enough.
Yeah.
They didn't really need to speak. His voice carried too. We were in the centre, but like at the back of the stalls. And even if you didn't hear the one word that he says, it's apparent what he's trying to do. It's very clear.
It was very physically focused.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
We kind of discussed that already.
We did.
But we did have, like, I just wanted to mention that there was a moment, I think Sass brought it up, Saraya brought it up. I call her Sass, guys.
It's a nickname.
Sass mentioned that they build a really big pole for the finale. And I actually just really enjoyed watching them construct that.
Oh, yeah, piece by piece.
Like, just the construction of that, I was kind of in awe, and I was, like, looking left, right, between the straps being put into place.
Oh, yeah.
And just making sure that it was stable for everyone to use. It was weird
a quick setup.
It was.
But that they were building it throughout the show, and, like, when it first came out, I was like, okay, they built a pole, and now it's gone backstage. Okay.
Yeah.
But then when they brought it out again, and they did a really cool thing where they had two poles, one of them longer than the other, and then one of the guys was doing parallel bar gymnastics on people's shoulders on these bars. So, like, that, I think anything that you're making people into things that they're not, like the staircase, like the parallel bars, I think that's just really... inventive.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think that staircase moment I'm such a magical realism fiend. So that was a tick in my book. Absolutely. And so favourite moment?
I think I've already mentioned both of mine. The pike flips from the aerialist on the two ropes, and that parallel bar thing. I just, like... Honestly, I feel like the man on the two ropes, that, like, throughout the rest of the show, there was heaps of, like, whooping and cheering and clapping for, like, major moments within the specialized sets. And I feel like he didn't get very many of those, but I feel like most people were just mouth agape, leaning forward, just staring up in awe at this man, and the strength and skill that he had.
That was very impressive.
What about you? Favourite moment?
I have a few. Okay, so obviously, not to bore everyone, but the staircase moment.
Trying so hard not to swear there.
The staircase moment was such a moment for me. And the aerialist. And also I really enjoyed, and I know you didn't love it as much as I did, but I really enjoyed the guy with his juggling balls that was rhythmic.
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of hypnotized by that. By the rhythm. And I was bopping the whole time. So I was ready for a bit more rhythm to go off. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that one as well. And I thought that was really impressive by him. I mean, it was a really good first... A
really great first experience. If you're not sure what to go to and you but you know you want something high energy. I think this is a reliable show to go to.
It goes on for 55 minutes and ticket prices are $45 to $48.
It's a good time, I think. I do think that if anyone were to ask me directly, or even if I want to go see it again, I think I would, to be honest. I think there's lots of stuff that is rewatchable.
Agreed.
And I'm just going to go back just a teeny bit.
Yeah.
Characters in there, I think that there was the first aerialist. We're just going on and on about the aerialist. We love them. Yeah. But the female aerialist, she had this moment when she was at the top of the top of the rope, and she just kind of sat there and smirked at us.
Yeah.
Oh my god, moment. So good. Anyway, sorry. So there are so many moments like that within the show that I think completely rewatchable.
Yeah. And
really great energy.
We did discuss kind of the pricing of this, right?
We did.
Last night. Because we get it. We've been students. We want to go see shows.
Yeah.
But
we also know that, so because 45 to 48 can seem like a big ticket amount, but we also know as performers how much just insurance these guys would need to have invested in. So we think that this is a really, honestly, for a circus show of that quality of what they're doing, really well worth it.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, that wraps it up for Barbaroi. I would, should we have watched it?
Yes.
Yes.
Hands down, yes.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about the show, the next show, if you want to tune in, is called An Entangled Wonderland, a Shibari immersion. Entangled in Wonderland, a Shibari immersion. If you want to tune into that, you'll find the QR code or the link wherever Perth now decide to put it.
So yeah, thanks guys for listening. This was Amanda
and Saraya.
Bye.
Bye.